Oh man, I got an episode for you guys today. This is Joey Swoll, you guys, and I'm sure many of you, upon seeing this hostage video that he put up, to kowtow to the woke left who attacked him for, I don't know, saying that it was unfortunate that Hulk Hogan died. You had to know I was going to get him, dude. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm sorry, dude. But if you ever find yourself doing something that is like, gosh, I just feel like such an absolute, man, it's only been 30 seconds. I can't say the word I was going to say. Wussy right now. And if it has to do with like being afraid of leftists, like I'm going to see it, dude. Like I'm going to see it and I'm going to make fun of you pretty mercilessly. I'm going to be honest though. Like my initial take on this when I like heard what he had done was I was like, oh my God, I'm going to torch this guy. Then I watched it. I actually feel bad for him. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is just sad. So I'm going to give you guys my take on this thing. And I promise it'll probably be the funniest take that you see throughout this entire story that will continue to go, you know, I assume for the next couple of days, since he basically said he's hanging it up for the people on the left. And then now the entire right is like a tidal wave. It's like, hey, now you get to find out who the real power is, dude. You know, you got a few people in your chat. They're all, did you know that Hulk Hogan said the N-word one time? He's all, why didn't someone warn me? I never would have said condolences to their family. I would have sent them a copy of, I don't know, a book about slavery or something and been like, I am with you in solidarity for the death, but you need to know Hulk Hogan was a piece of shit and we are glad that he's gone, you know? Anyway, so we're going to go through that. And I also am going to show you this because I can't help myself. I have to combine the Sydney Sweeney story with this, right? About the American Eagle thing. This is too good, dude. And by the way, you know how they're all saying it's Nazi propaganda, the Sydney Sweeney thing? And that's obviously what this little, this gentleman who identifies as queer would tell you. But yeah, and then this girl, she's got some things to say about how the Sydney Sweeney video made her feel. You're all, where is this going? You know what I mean? Like, when I saw this, I was like, where is this one going? I'm confused. You don't look like most crybaby fatty leftists that get upset if, like, they say, hey, we put clothes on an attractive person so that you might think that you might look attractive if you put on our clothes. So when I look at this clearly attractive person who looks skinnier than Sydney, I'm like, what's happening? Like, I don't understand. Where is this going? Oh, I bet you can guess. I bet you can guess, dude. There's only one angle, right? And yes, she runs through it. Or one option, I guess. Like, you know, she runs right through it. I don't know. Weird metaphor. And then we're going to go through this also because this is going to be the best video ever. Like, I'm serious. I'm so excited to do this. Then you have Chuck Schumer, who claims requiring voter ID is literally Jim Crow. You heard that right, guys. You heard that right. It is so challenging for these blacks to be able to find the DMV that requiring ID to vote is essentially Jim Crow. Can you believe that this white supremacist country would do that? You're all, go back to that first part. You know, why don't you go ahead and go back to that first part? He's all, which part are you referring to? You're all, the part where you said it's so hard for these blacks to find the DMV. He's like, well, I didn't say that. I'm like, well, what's your point then, dude? What exactly are your, like, what are you saying? You're saying requiring ID is similar to Jim Crow. What's the implication? He's like, well, I think you know. I'm like, yeah, I do. I do think I know. I know exactly what your implication is. I want you to say it. Well, you can't expect these blacks to know where the DMV is. You're all, oh, right, because you're saying they're like stupider than humans since all other humans can find the DMV. He's like, well, I didn't say that. I'm saying, you know, poverty and whatever. You're all, no. You just go ahead. Keep talking, dude. Keep talking because the other side's the racist. You fucking moron. And then someone made one of the funniest AI things I've ever seen. And if we have time, we'll talk about the Cincinnati case, but we probably won't. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Ring the bell for all notifications and then like this video and let's make fun of some fucking nerds. We are about to make fun of some nerds. Starting with this nerd over here, Joey Swoll. It's really hard because for me, this is where he is. Like I'm pointing right at him right now. But to you guys, I'm pointing in the opposite direction. So I always need to remember, it's like point in the other direction from where you see him. So this nerd right there, this nerd. All right, Joey Swoll. So he did some kind of thing for Hulk Hogan, and the leftists reminded him that he should be happy that Hulk Hogan's dead. And so this is his apology video.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology.
Nope, you do not owe me an apology. Well, you owe me an apology for this. Actually, no, you don't. I was so happy to see that you did this. I owe you a bouquet of flowers because it's rare for someone to serve themselves up on a platter this, just this freshly. It's like, here, Jesse, just destroy me in front of the internet.
A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of
Listen, let me tell you something, Joey Swoll. So here are the rules on that really quick. I'm sorry. If you guys were expecting me to run this the whole way through without talking, you have never seen my channel. So if you let people tell you how outraged they are about a thing you did, and then you react to it, here's how that goes. If you think that you say sorry, that makes them go, all right, he's actually a good guy. I wasn't expecting that. He really has strong character. What that means is you are not equipped to do what we do because it means you don't understand humans and you don't understand what bullying looks like, okay? Because none, and when I say none, I mean none of the people who badgered you about posting the Hulk Hogan thing gave a single shit that Hulk Hogan at one point of his life 100 years ago used the N-word. They don't care about that, okay? They don't care about that even a little bit. What they care about is that he stood on a stage and said, hey, brother, we're voting for the big guy. He's going to take over the White House. So when you do this apology, all you're telling them is they just, actually, I'm not even going to tell you what you're telling them. I'm going to tell you what they do, okay? When you do the apology, here's exactly what they do. They go, got one. Got one. Now we can badger this little bitch around as much as we want. Do you think Joey Swoll, bro, your name's Joey Swoll. Do you really think that you're going to find solidarity with these dumpy, queer identifying nerds that light you up about Hulk Hogan? Like, you really? They're all, Joey Swoll. Turns out, this guy who literally represents everything that we despise. We're the same people who are calling the Sydney Sweeney thing Nazi propaganda. He did apologize after we bothered him. And so he's actually a good guy. You could not have shot yourself in the face harder than by doing this video, because now all of us where, I don't know. I literally barely even knew who this dude was. Now all of us are just like, oh, this guy's a pussy. And then all of them are like, oh, this guy's a pussy. Like, this was I've never seen anyone do this before.
Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended.
Bro, you posted a video of yourself wearing a fucking Halloween costume, you crybaby ass pussy. Okay? Dude, give me a break. Okay? Do you, again, I just keep coming back to this. Do you really think that those people who went in your live stream and was like, you support this piece of shit, they don't care about any of this? This is a war to them. Okay? They hate the other side, like hate them. Us. They hate us, okay? I don't know what you are. You're going to have a hard time on our side, dude, now. But, listen, we're forgiving. You just say, listen, I'm a complete pussy. We're like, I know, dude. We have plenty of room for pussies over here. Come here. Come here, little guy. And we'll squeeze your little cheeks and we'll make fun of you forever. But, they don't care about the things that they pretend to care about. This is a game to them. And it's a game that you allowed them to win by doing this stupid crybaby video. Okay, you wore a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume and then you posted it on your channel the day that he died. And then you kowtailed to a bunch of weirdos who have been going on the internet being like, thank God that piece of shit is dead. You think they're the good guys, dude? Hey, they're the good guys. They're the ones whose opinion you should care about. The guys who are like, fuck that piece of shit. They're the same people who are all these Texas kids that got swept up by the flood. Hey, I guess God doesn't exist, does he? You're all, I want to be aligned with them. Definitely. Definitely. Those are the good guys, dude. Those are the good guys. Pathetic.
I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream.
Also, never say you're sorry. Okay? I'm talking like fucking never on the internet. Barring something, you're like, you have to get caught with your hand in a cookie jar that is just absolutely damning, where there's no way out of it. It's something so fucked up that you have to apologize. You know what I mean? Like, which I actually can't even think of a scenario where apologizing is the correct play. You always ignore it. You always ignore it. Just ignore the noise, dude. Because the bullies will then recognize that you are one that they cannot get under the skin of, and they'll leave you alone.
I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again.
Okay. So that is a perfect example. That's a perfect example, dude. Do you actually think that there is a big difference between saying he's a colored person versus a person of color? Okay. These are games that weirdos play to try to trip you up. Okay. It's like, well, that guy's black. And they're all, what? You're all, he's black. They're all, black? African American. And then 5 minutes later, they're all, I'm not African American. I'm a black American. You're all, okay. Black American. They're all, I said African American. You're all, can't keep up. Can't keep up, dude. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just trying to call you by your name. And then they're like, a color, like, yeah, I knew growing up colored was a bad word to say or whatever, but then they brought back people of color. Okay. And so they're like, we want you to say people of color. He's all, well, so he's a colored person. They're all, what the fuck did you just say? You got colored? Colored. He's all, what? They're all, person of color, you racist piece of shit. You racist piece of shit. You, sir, do not understand the plight of people of color in this nation. Obviously, if you would say an outdated, disgusting racist term like that. He's all, I'm sorry. It's like, dude, just say you're not playing, dude. Okay? Just don't play. Okay? The vast majority of these people are white. Okay? Vast majority of these people are white. So don't worry about it. Okay? That is a perfect example of the kind of bullshit that these people pull.
So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. You know, my whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human. I am still growing. I am still learning. And I promise all of you, I will do better. I have nothing but love and kindness in my heart. I will continue to try to make the world a better place. And once again, to everybody, I apologize.
I believe him, dude. I believe him. This was just this is a big miscalculation, dude. But that's why I'm not being like mean, dude. Like, I'm not being mean. I'm just pointing out that, like, you fell for it. Like, you fell for it, dude. You fell for it. They got one, dude. That is exactly how they look at this game. Got one. Got one. Hey, he said colored, and we say people of color. Got one. Let's get this motherfucker, dude. Let's get him. They're just bullies, okay? Is that how, bullies come up there, all, hey, let me get your lunch money. You're all, what? You said you were going to get me my lunch money next week. I don't have parents, dude. Hey, I told you I don't have parents like you, Joey Swoll. You promised me your lunch money. He's all, I don't remember saying that, but you did, dude. So what, now you're calling me a liar? You're calling me a liar, Joey Swoll? You said you were going to bring me a lot. Okay, cool. Hey, that's fine, dude. I'll just eat dirt, man. I'll just eat dirt. Give me that money. He's all right. You're all, oh, gee, I wonder what's going to happen next week. I wonder what's going to happen next week. He pretended that you promised him your lunch money and you fell for it and you gave it to him. So now you think he's going to be nice and leave you alone? He's coming back tomorrow, dude. Obviously, it is literally the exact same part of the brain. Okay. Give me your lunch money. And, oh, you used the word color, not person of color. Identical. But maybe you'll learn something from this and not ever allow this to happen ever again. All right. Now, speaking of total imbeciles, I'm not sure if I have time for this guy, actually. Let's go over here because I want to listen to this, this girl tell you how she is so appalled by the Sydney Sweeney stuff because why? You're like a really pretty girl. She's all, I know that. Thank you. You know, put that in the comments. Hopefully we could start a chain of people telling me I'm pretty. But also, actually, you know what? Before I even tell this story, I found out today, you know how they're saying that the Sydney Sweeney thing is Nazi propaganda? I was like, what the fuck are these people talking about? I actually didn't really think that deep on it because they call everything Nazi propaganda. But I realized it's like, oh, this is actually a little bit smarter than what they normally say. Like, normally there's like no basis for Nazi stuff, right? But in this case, she's all, I have great genes. You know, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, you know, I honestly was looking at her tits and didn't even think about what that actually meant, right? And she's like, she turns around, I'm like, nice ass. She's all, look at this. It's like, nice tits. Beautiful, Sydney Sweeney. You are doing a great job in this commercial. And she's all, I have good genes. Didn't dawn on me that that's a play on words like her genes, you know? Like, she's got good genetics, right? Didn't that went, you know, generally speaking, you put like half naked Sydney Sweeney in front of dudes and their brain only works at like 20% versus like evaluate her body. And then everything else, you're all, I'll look at this later. You know what I mean? So I didn't see that. And so when they're saying it's Nazi propaganda because she's saying she has perfect genes and she's blonde and she has blue eyes, Nazi propaganda. I was like, oh shit. That actually almost makes sense what you guys are saying. It's ridiculous. I think they're more talking about her body, you know. I think they were more talking about her body. But at least this stupid fucking thing makes sense for the first time ever from you dim nimrods, you know. So give him credit, dude. Give the wokesters credit. This one time, this was actually not the worst read ever. I mean, it's completely absurd, but it at least kind of made sense versus everything's Nazism, right? Now, let's listen to this hot girl tell you why she could not handle the Sydney Sweeney commercial.
I really wasn't going to weigh in on this, but here we go. It is so difficult to grow up as a person of color, specifically a woman, and view yourself as beautiful in...
Oh my God, do you mean a colored person? Oh my gosh! Jesse on Fire called her a colored... I didn't. I was just saying, if you say a person of color and someone saying, oh, like a colored person, you're all, I mean, yeah, those are the same thing. You're all, they are not the same thing. If you say she's a colored person, that's racist. If you say she's a person of color, that's respectful. I'm like, no. What do you mean no? No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. We're not playing. I'm not playing. Okay. Person of color, colored person, same fucking thing, dude. You are saying the same words. Okay. Except colored person is shorter, right? Person of color is just a stupid, multiple, more syllables way of saying colored person. Okay. Now watch this. Hey, Joey Swoll, are they going to come for Jesse on Fire? Fuck no. Because they're going to look at it and go, he's not playing. You know, not even worth the lure that I would put on my fucking fishing pole. Okay. He's not going to bite. Not going to bite. Okay. A lesson to you, dude. Look, I just called her a colored person, dude. Look at that. You think they're going to come for me? Fuck no. Let's continue.
Any sense of the word growing up in this country. I remember growing up in a predominantly white community, wishing myself out of this body, out of this culture, take my name. If it meant that I could wake up blonde-haired and blue-eyed, never having
you would be less attractive if you were blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Now, obviously, I love me an Italian girl, Brazilian girl. I think she's Indian, whatever. I can't really tell, you know, person of color or whatever. You're hotter as you are than you would be if you were blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Sorry, dude, you know? So, I mean, I say this genuinely, but it also makes your entire video fucking a joke, okay? A joke. You're a grown-up. If you felt that way as a kid, that's cool. But now you're a grown-up. Beautiful girl. Shut the fuck up, okay?
Explain who I am or worry about being accepted. That is why this American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney is especially off-putting. There's a lot of rhetoric right now online about the political ideologies that this represents, and I don't discount that, but for me, I can't help but think about the 13-year-old brown girl who gets all her denim at American Eagle, who already struggles to see her beauty and worth in a world that continues to value white Eurocentric.
Okay. Hey, sweetheart. And now I'm talking to you, person of color, sweetheart, whatever your name is. Are you actually seriously trying to act as if the advertising in this country has not included people of color for the last decade? Is that a serious fucking comment? You took the biggest female sex symbol movie star in the world and did a single campaign around her, and you're crying that this is such a terrible thing for girls of color who are 13? Shut your stupid face, okay? Just shut your dumb face. This is an embarrassment, dude. I actually can't even listen to the rest of this. That's how stupid this is, okay? You're a beautiful girl, okay? You're just making yourself, like, beautiful on the outside, dumbbell on the inside. Embarrassing. Not as dumb as this motherfucker, though, okay? This is going to be the last one we're going to look at, because this is, I think so. Let me just double check. Yeah. Maybe I'll show that last one. This is really funny. But let's listen to Chuck Schumer and this brilliant take. Okay, guys, here we go. This is Chuck Schumer talking about why requiring voter ID is Jim Crow.
Not going to let them revert to Jim Crow. And if you don't think they want to revert to Jim Crow, just look what they did in the SAVE Act, which went back to took Jim Crow for the whole nation. By so making it hard, they said you need ID, and they made it so hard to show ID that probably half the people in America couldn't vote. We wouldn't let it pass.
I'm sorry. They went back to Jim Crow because in the SAVE Act, it said to federally require showing ID to vote. So I just really want to drill into what you're saying, because it seems like you have a very, very poor understanding of what Jim Crow was. Unlike me, Chuck Schumer, I think I might have a slightly better understanding of what Jim Crow laws were. So without going into all of those details, right? If you want to talk reparations, you should talk to the people who during the Jim Crow era had all of their property seized when they legally owned it under Jim Crow laws. Instead of talking about all that, let's just talk about what you're actually saying about the voter ID stuff, dude. You know? How about this, guy? How about this? Walk me through why it would be harder for a black person, who were the only people affected by Jim Crow laws, unless I am misunderstanding them. They were for black people, right? So how would showing an ID be harder for a black person than for a white person? No. No political games, guy. Well, I mean, listen. No. Why? Well, because there are many black communities that are deeply impoverished, and in those impoverished communities, it might be a lot harder for them to be able to get to the DMV. They might not have a car, right? They might not have a car, right? So in those really spread out communities that are so far away from the DMV, have you looked at the demographics there? Are they more heavily black, more heavily white, whatever, you know? Oh, very similar. Like, actually, one of the places where blacks and whites are very similar, or even lean towards white, right? In those very spread out, you know, like agricultural areas, you know, black people, not so much. This big majority, like if you were talking about them in the inner cities. No, in the inner cities, they can walk to the DMV, right? They can walk to the DMV. So are you saying that they're too stupid to find out where the DMV is? Because if that's what you're saying, that sounds pretty fucking racist to me, dude. Okay? It's also absurd. It's absurd. Did you guys see Catherine Hochul in New York when she said, we've got blacks in Brooklyn that don't even know what a laptop is? You're like, what? Say again? You heard me. We've got blacks in Brooklyn who don't even know what a laptop is. You're like, that is one of the most racist things I've ever heard. Why don't you go find me a black person in Brooklyn that doesn't know what a laptop is? Why don't you find me a single person in all of New York that doesn't know what a laptop is, black or white? But you seem to think it's only black people. But you're saying the other side is racist for requiring voter IDs. I can't compute. Racist. They're a joke, okay? If you're black and you think that they are fighting for you, you are a dumbbell, okay? You might be black. Most blacks are probably pretty smart. You, though, are dumb for believing them, okay? They are doing this because they want to commit voter fraud. That is why they are doing the voter ID thing. It's as simple as that. Okay. Why else would you not want to require voter IDs? They are pretending they are protecting you while committing voter fraud. That's what they're doing. But again, you know, if you just think that they're the good guys, then yeah, keep going along with this. Tell everybody you don't know how to fucking get the DMV. They're all play dumb. They're all, hey guys, just play dumb. Say you don't know where the DMV is. They're all, oh, okay. I don't know where the DMV is. They're all, thanks, Blackie. You're like, they're the racist, dude. Okay. Anyway, that's what I got.